Okay, welcome back. Let's keep going. Escaping from the director's office.
Three. Is it okay if I open this door?
3, 2, 1, go! We found the door!
No! Damn it!
What's wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
What was it?
The picture. How could I forget it?
Oh yeah, we must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah. I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
I want to come with you.
He's gonna get murdered.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back
gosh.
to the warehouse, Sigma? The others are probably already waiting.
Alright. I'll see you two later then.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
I watched them jog off toward the blue door. And they were gone.
Guess I should be getting back then. Stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Vi and Clover, and Dio.
Dio's an angel, remember that, guys.
The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed to the rightmost AB room and slid his card to the reader.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of smug grin. That was smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it.
Oh, he's
See?
so nice.
I can be considerate.
Aw, see, Dio's an
Timothy and
angel.
Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found.
I guess. They told us.
They ran back to grab it real quick.
And they'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Tenmyoji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Uh-oh.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
Aren't we all here, though?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Nah, I'll be fine by myself.
What?
It's not
Dang.
that far away.
We're
Just
gonna
don't
get killed,
look into the
too.
abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
That's, I don't think. Okay. I'm just going to the director's office, so I'll be right back. No big deal. It picks up my breathing if I put it too close.
I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Are they like trapped in there or something?
I don't know, maybe they're dead. Everybody seems to get murdered all the time.
But everyone was here. Like they're all in the.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. Maybe,
Could they have died?
Maybe he got infected and then killed himself.
They're not even here.
Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here.
Picture's gone.
Picture's gone, though. Demeter Corp must have been here.
There's like some pink stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
I laid out the floor B map.
They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, it's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh, looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this is a huge waste of time. Shoot, might as well head back, I suppose. They're in the safe. Murdered in the safe.
I packed up the map and was headed toward the door when there was a light on where there hadn't been a light before.
What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work.
I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it.
Be careful of the light.
So bad about a light. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly.
It's a teleporter.
So, you finally made it.
No.
I am Zero. I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was a spectacular, futile, and kept my balled fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites. In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now. Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound? They are splendid structures.
Zira's
Some might even
insane.
call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds. Now, consider humans. Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty. And you are about to catch a glimpse of it. Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediate.
Maybe they took 20 minutes. They might have taken 20 minutes because they're just listening to this guy.
I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you.
Password.
It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1. Are you
Bomb?
ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
Did you get that, Dennis?
Yeah.
I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, I showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately.
Wait, but
I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Later, alligator.
how come he only wants some of us
Wait,
knowing?
god damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear?
I found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared.
Kind of an idiot does you take me for? Termites? Other dimensions?
How could that have anything to do with...
the kidnapping us? Shit. I just kicked out a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Oh, crap. I need to get back. I don't like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room towards the warehouse.
Grandpa! Look, Mr. Sigma's back!
Took you long enough.
Wow, says you guys.
Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
Durr.
They went in already.
Yep.
Why didn't you two? You've been waiting for me?
Yeah! Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round. That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You can deny whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
How many points do we have?
It said 3.
We have 3.
Yeah, I can't go back to that screen, but it said 3.
We only have 3.
Because we had 1. We had 1, and then so the one time I went ally and I went, that was this path. That was back way back here. Yeah, so like way back here. Or way back here. I don't know. One of these paths. I don't know what happens. And then the second round, we allied with him, and we were both happy because he wasn't going to kill our friend. And when I betrayed him, he got all sad, and I allied with him. So now we're at 3 because we had gained 2. First time we got betrayed. Anyway, so that means you choose betray to protect yourselves.
That's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
Of
All right,
course.
tell me one thing. So we're at 3. Let's say we do this and both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you. But I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear.
Oh, that's what they all say.
I
I
promise.
know. Man. So, all you've got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us!
We can trust Quark because he's a little kid. But Tenmyoji just wants Quark to get out, so...
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until
Do you wanna do
Ambidex
ally or
game
betray?
polling closes.
Well, it's a choice, so we get to do both.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally! You promised!
Let's do betray.
With that, they turned and ran to the AB room, the second from the right. Well, I guess I should get moving.
Betray.
Okay.
Actually do ally, because that's going to get us nowhere.
A decision to make. Should I trust them? Well, I could believe their truth, believe they're telling the truth and still betray them. I'd be at 6, much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape with the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like a safe bet.
Please! You've gotta trust me. You've gotta choose. You promised.
Temiyoji, I could betray easy enough, but Quark, what the hell was I gonna do?
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'll choose ally. We'll see what happens. They'll probably just leave.
Round 3 of the results will thank you, Ambidex Gates. Results, please.
Damn, it killed us.
11. Dang.
Clover's out too. Dio's stuck in eternal betrayal. It's funny.
You shall always betray.
Points have been assigned. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Some people are still at 1, and then others are at 11. That's so uneven.
Hey, what the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise to me, OG?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So you're not gonna leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave. Look, see Clover over there?
Oh, don't tell me.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words barely out of her mouth when Temiyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Whenever, like, we're all doomed to die.
Are you really going to leave?
We're all doomed to die. Then
Well,
it's only Dio who's
yeah.
freaking out.
Why else?
Yeah, he really wants to get out.
And then the rest of us are like,
I'm going to go call
I
the
had a good
others,
life. And then Dio's
so
like,
we can
no!
capture Zero Senior.
He's like swearing.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So, Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell, I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Temiyoji.
You say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done. Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Well, we already saw him. We saw him
The
in the
number
hologram.
9 door.
The hologram guy was Zero Senior.
I know, but like without the
It
mask
will
thing.
remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held out something. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
I pressed it. He pressed it into my hand,
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
and I burnt the letter without reading it. Turned and ran towards the door. Timmy-Oji and Clover followed in his footsteps. I was so surprised that by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say,
See him.
Goodbye.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Couldn't we like make a bomb or something?
thanks, computer.
I'm sure there's some way we could get out because it's not like it's invincible.
Shit!
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help
Like there's
back.
no maintenance gear to unlock open doors and unlock
Well,
panels.
this is the only one where no one's been murdered.
Wasn't that old lady murdered in the beginning?
Well, that was Dio, okay? And,
then one of the ladies killed herself.
yeah, that was Alice, but she killed herself, not
Yeah.
she didn't murder.
I looked down at the Quark's letter and slowly unfolded. His handwriting was still slightly uneven. He filled both pages of writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me.
Oh my God, stop.
He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt. But somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me. But he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess he was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. So I guess it was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now, here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too.
Oh my God, okay, stop reading that. I'll take it from here. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was one, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. Whoa, dang. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it's supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things.
Usually though, I just wanted to finish work so I could go to the theater. The theater came out to our town once a week in a wagon. They show old movies. Old news or movies. I went every single week. But Grandpa only went once in a while. And he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. Wait, what? I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. How is that impressive? Okay. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who'd told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everyone about how he had a mom. What's so special about having a mom? He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." Damn. It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day, he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. It's a little young for a kid. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. Okay, Dad, you could read, since you're the best. When we got in, he just walked to the counter with a grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it.
It's a root beer float.
It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I've never seen one before. I was so surprised.
This game is so dumb.
Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and all the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I started at the float. I stared at the float. I wasn't sure it was real at the point, and then turned back to look at Grandpa, who ran out the store and left me. He looked back at me and took running off. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender.
Not sarcastic.
He already turned around and moved off, though. So I figured I must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It was for another child. It didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted.
How could root beer be more
His
expensive
gruff
than...
voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. It's like 7 pages of this freaking root beer story. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious.
They're talking about a root beer float.
But it made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling.
Stop.
I know.
Okay, I
That's
can read
gotta be
again.
hard for you to imagine. But he really was.
Right then, I didn't care whether or not he just found me and adopted me. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. Haha, in your face, loser. I got to drink this. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good, until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old junk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I had found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care." Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. Overreacting much? I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. Okay, Dad, you can keep on reading.
But that was just an excuse.
Oh my God.
The truth was I was nervous. Part of me knew that I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though, so I just sat there staring out of the gloomy, gray sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to something. It kept raining all night long, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was like totally soaked, and like I could tell right away that he'd been there for like a long time.
That sudden change.
And I like yelled, and like he opened his eyes like a little bit, and then he smiled like weakly, and he said it was like glad to be safe, like glad that I was safe, you know. And like he spent all like night out in the rain, but like looking for me, and like oh my god, like I felt awful. And like Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me for so long that he'd collapsed. Like OMG. Like it was horrible. Like he'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. Like as I ran to get the doctor, I promised like whatever God might be listening that if they would just only save Grandpa, like I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. And then he got a really bad fever, and like his temperature wouldn't go down for like days. The doctor said that if he keep it up, he'd like totally die. You could read.
If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. I don't know how to read it.
Fortunately, I must have passed out some of
So
my
my
luck.
to Grandpa because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore?
My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped.
And then I died.
Grandpa just started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think.
He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about.
All the things I worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I'd ran off, and he'd even gone out in the rain to look for me.
I tried to apologize, but when I
opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted me on my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't.
To be continued.
Nope. That's Quark's ending, obviously.
Wait, is it gonna do Quark?
Or Grandpa, I don't know which one. Probably Quark.
Probably Grandpa. Maybe both.
Cast. Temioji end.
Yeah, the Tenmyoji end. Ayy. 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 That's satisfying. Okay, do the other option. It's just gonna be a dead end, probably.
Yep. Because she's just gonna leave.
Betray. Dab on them haters.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
Okay, we get it.
Please direct.
Betray. No.
Oof.
Points have been.
Hey, what's the deal?
Quark had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
How come they're...
So why'd you choose Betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing?
Yeah.
I don't really think this is the time for a fight, though. Look, Clover's over by the door.
What? Oh no.
See, you gotta stop them before they push the handle, otherwise it's like no use. Because the door's just gonna open and then close, and it's gonna be gone forever, even if Clover stays.
The number 9 door.
Fuck, she opened it.
Ugh! Why? Clover, wait!
Clover, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm going to call the others.
What?
I'll get justice for Alice.
Justice? What do you mean?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Time for me to go. No! Please, Clover.
Like hell, I'm just gonna
Why
let
is
you walk out of
Clover
here.
leaving?
She's gonna get justice. She says she's gonna tell the others.
Dio leapt at Clover, his fist raised. Clover easily avoided him and moved toward the door.
That was easily dodge.
You're like, whatever, let's keep on moving, you know?
Yeah. Those dead ends are all the same.
I think in the first option, the first option, you know, like the other chain, like the first, you know, the first main part, like in a flowchart.
Yeah.
That was like where everyone was getting murdered, and then this one's just kind of chill. Like no one's getting murdered,
It's true.
but
I think that one where they got murdered, I think they committed suicide because they were infected.
I don't think that Luna.
No, I think she found the knife and then was infected and killed herself. Alright, well, we solved more paths. Hooray.
Now
Now we just got this long path here to do,
and also the other.
and a bunch of little side things.
See that one.
What, this
See
one?
those ones, the ones with the stamp where we can't continue. Then it's probably like it's gonna be the same thing where it just keeps on going.
That's true. Yeah.
Because like it does that.
Probably branches out. You're probably
Yeah.
right. There's probably different
'Cause
endings.
that's what happened when we unlocked one of the stamp things.
Yeah, it's true.
The question marks.
Okay.
See y'all
See ya.
later.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo!